everyone, this is Meg at Chasing Retro. Today I'm going to bring you along with me as I decorate some of the pages in the giraffe journals that I'm working on. This is a collaboration that I'm doing with Carol at Crinkled Path, and we are calling this collaboration hashtag Tall Order Journals. And she's making a giraffe journal for her husband, and I'm making two for customers and one small one to keep for myself. So come along with me. I'm probably going to fast forward this a little bit and do a voiceover so that we won't have a 4-hour video and describe my process as I go along, and then at the end maybe I'll come back and say hi one more time. Thanks as always for watching. First, I'm cutting the strings off of the fabric strips that have so many strings that if I were to try to pull them to fray them, it would probably unravel the fabric to half of the original size. These are some scraps or strips of pre-cut cloth that I found at a yard sale when I first started junk journaling. I'm talking about early 2021, and I went to a yard sale of a lady who used fabric strips to sew them together onto faux leather and make tote bags. And I guess she had decided not to make them anymore, and she had a giant box of these fabric strips in so many different fun colors and prints. So I am still slowly going through that stash, and I had some bright oranges and reds and greens and yellows that I pulled for these projects. I was so happy to have them. So as soon as I do this, I'm going to take them to the sewing machine and ruffle them with a straight stitch, and then I will glue them into the journals. Here I have 3 of them ready to go into one of the journals for a customer, a fabric cover journal. And I just kind of try to find the page that I think that it would look best on. I like there to be a little contrast. If it's a very light or white page, I like to put a darker color ruffle on it. I used to sew the ruffles on, but I have decided over time that I just like the clean look on the back when I sew the ruffle itself, but then glue it onto the page. That allows the back of the page, especially if it's a blank page, to be used in any way that the journal recipient chooses to. Sometimes I'll try to hide the back stitching with a side pocket or something like that, but I figured it looks like it's sewn on if I glue it down, and it also tends to pucker the page less if I don't sew a ruffle onto a page, especially if the paper is delicate or thin. So to me, that's very important also. I try to alternate where I place the ruffles, not only spreading them out evenly throughout the journal, but as you can see, I put one at the top, and then the second one I put more toward the bottom, and then I put the third one a little bit lower than the tip top. That just provides some stair step or alternating type look on the side, and you'll see that here. Here is the other journal for the other customer, and these are similar colors, a little bit shorter strips than the last one, and I'm just gluing them in on the pages that I think they look best, alternating both color and whether I put them at the top or the bottom, just like in the previous journal. I'm using, I don't think it's Fabri-Tac, I think it's 3-in-1 glue. Not for any other reason than my Fabri-Tac needs to be switched out, and I wanted to get the video going, so I just used my 3-in-1. This is a piece of, okay, so you know when you buy a 12 by 12 pad and sometimes there's a little extra strip at the top that you fold over and tear off? That is how I use that extra piece. It's just folded back and forth and crimped down, and then I do a straight stitch and create sort of a haphazard diagonal paper ruffle of sorts. I try to make a lot of these when I go through a paper pad for a project, and I just store them in a little plastic box so I can pull them out when I need them. And these two happen to match the journals great. Another thing I like to do, and I always do this before sewing in the signatures, I like to sew in fabric tabs. And so I use a zigzag stitch for that, and I use some of the beautiful fabric that I received in Happy Meal yesterday from Stacey. I take the page out to do that. I take it over to my sewing machine, keeping my place. All right, so now I'm going to sew in a fabric flip that I received in Happy Meal a while back from Susan. Thank you, Susan, for this. It's perfect for this journal. I trimmed the bottom just a little bit because it was a little long. I like to glue in fabric flips for the same reason as I like to glue in the ruffles. And I tend to put it on the last page of a signature because that's where a cardstock page is. So it's just better for holding it up. This is one of my favorite ways to decorate a blank page, and that's using fussy cuts. This is a digital fussy cut of a giraffe, I think it's from a carousel, like the giraffe that you would ride on a carousel. And I'm using 3-in-1 to glue him down. I love using Fabri-Tac or 3-in-1 to glue things like this onto a thin page because it's not water-based and the page will not wrinkle or bubble. Now I'm putting some fabric snippets, another favorite way to decorate a page. These beautiful snippets are all made for me by Carrie at the Paper Monkey. Carrie, thank you so much. These are perfect for these journals. I found sort of a primary colored one for this small journal, and as you'll see in a moment, I'm going to use one of the larger ones for the fabric journal. I think it has sort of a tribal print look to it, and it was great. I decided not to put it there because there wasn't enough contrast with the back fabric. So I found a yellow page instead. These are some of my favorite ways to decorate pages. Let me know what was your favorite. One more little thing. Small ephemera is a great way to add interest to an otherwise blank page. This is a discount stamp. Thank you for joining me today. I showed you just a few of the ways that I like to decorate pages in journals. And some of these need to be done before the journals are sewn in, the signatures are sewn in, and some of them can be done afterwards. I just wanted to show you some of my favorite easy ways to decorate pages, and I will be continuing to work on these and hopefully have the final flip through ready for you next week. So please go look at Carol's video for today as well. She's going to be decorating the pages of her giraffe journal for our #Tall Order Journals collab. Thanks guys, and I'll see you next time.